All right, so the second part of section 2.1 is the application part. So taking what we learned about parabolas and quadratic functions, remembering the vertex and the standard form and whether it opens up or down, and we're going to apply these to what we can call real life situations. All right, so the things you'll be able to do in this section are determine a quadratic function given a description. You'll also be able to apply a quadratic function to geometry. So this is an applied problem with some type of constraint, like a shape that you'll see. So we will be drawing pictures for all of these questions because they really help you answer the question. So my biggest key here for these application problems is to draw a picture. 3 exclamation points because I can't stress how helpful that will be. Okay, so let's look at the first group, solving applications involving quadratic functions. So number 1 says, a cat follows a parabolic path. Already, this is important. Tells us we're going to have a parabola. The cat jumps a maximum height of 5 feet and covers 6 feet of horizontal ground distance. Find an equation of the form. This is our standard form of a parabola, which represents the path of the cat. Okay, so like I mentioned before, first step, always draw the picture. So we're going to draw the picture. All right, so what's happening? We have a cat jumping in the air, and it's going to make some type of parabola shape. To help us out, I'm going to draw it on an XY axis because that's how we're used to seeing parabolas. So let's continue that so we can go on. So we have our cat, it jumps in the air, it comes back down, makes the shape of a parabola. We're going to pretend like this is even on both sides. All right, so already, can we figure out some of the points on this parabola? Like here, we're at the origin, right? This is the point 0, 0. What else do we know? Let's go back to the problem. It says the cat jumps a maximum height of 5 feet. So the highest point that the cat jumps is 5. Well, what part of the parabola does that represent? This is the highest part of the parabola. So that happens at a height of 5. So we can put 5 here. We know the y value for this point is 5. All right, it also says it covers 6 feet of horizontal distance. So the cat goes from here to here. Horizontal distance is 6 feet. So what does that tell us about this x value? It's 6. And this point is 6, 0. All right, so we do know the y value up here is 5. Could we figure out what the x value is based on the rest of our picture? Can we figure out what x value happens right here? Yeah, it's right between 0 and 6, so this should be x value 3, right? So right away, we have our vertex, which is 3, 5. And we can get part of our equation, right? We have everything except A, we have H, we have K. So our equation, y equals A, x minus 3 squared plus 5. And we got all of this just from drawing a picture. We haven't really done any pre-calculus yet. We just drew a picture and we knew how to figure out the standard form of an equation. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is actually answer the question. So let's go back to the question. It says find an equation of this form. Well, we already have this form, but we don't know what A is. So how do we do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to plug in any other point on this parabola other than our vertex. So we're going to plug in a point to solve for a. So what point could we use? Well, we have two options. We could plug in 0, 0, or we can plug in 6, 0. You can choose whichever one you want and you will get the exact same answer. I'm going to go with 0, 0 because it's easy. Zeros are easy to work with, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to plug 0, 0 into here. So my x will be 0 and my y would be 0, and so then I would solve for a. Okay. I'm going to subtract the 5 on both sides. And what is this? Negative 3 squared, which is 9. So we got 9a. And we can solve for a by dividing that 9. Make sure my 9 looks like a 9. Okay, so now we actually have everything we need to know, right? We know what a is. It's negative 5 over 9. We know what h is. It's 3. And our k is 5. So to answer the question, our equation of the correct form is y equals negative 5 over 9 x minus 3 squared plus 5.